Welcome, everyone. How are you guys this morning on this beautiful Monday morning? Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Debt Ain't My Daddy, because he sure ain't my daddy. And Dad hasn't been my daddy for like 6 years now. 6 years. All right. As you can see in the title, Life After Bankruptcy. All right, let me bring up my notes. All right. Whoop. How did it disappear like that? Okay, whatever. All right. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix, just like the movie, the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and believes in financing everything that depreciates. Everything. Lawnmowers, furniture, silverware, microwaves. I'm just looking around my kitchen right now. Whatever. What else? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anything that depreciates, anything that goes down in value. And for those of you that do not know what depreciate means, and that's okay. Make sure you recognize that you don't understand what that means. Anything to do with your money and you don't know what it means, say you don't know what it means, because I guarantee you the majority of people in debt don't understand a lot of financial terms, but they're not going to say it because they're going to feel like they're dumb or they should know something or whatever, right? Depreciate means things that go down in value, okay? If you finance something that goes down in value, and at the same time when you're financing, there's interest charged to that item that's going up for the bank or whatever institution that you finance with, it's going like this at the same time. You'll never get you'll never get ahead. That doesn't make mathematical sense. If it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. All right. First of all, I want to thank everybody that subscribes to me, all my subscribers. I want to thank everybody that watch in silence and just views my videos. I see you there. All right. I know you're there. All right. And that's cool too. Thank you for all the people that donate. I appreciate that. Thank you for the people that email me with questions. All right. I want to make sure if you come to my channel, this is a safe place for you to say, I don't know. A safe place for you to come to say, you know what? I messed up on my money, but instead of saying messed up, I want you to use the F word. Use the F word to yourself in the mirror and say it loud and say it strong, because I want you to. Now, I'm not a big cusser or swearer if this is not you, but I want you to recognize, I want you to feel, using that word, I really want to use it so you can feel that it's okay to express. No different than a movie. You know, it's like, in a movie, if they didn't use a cuss word in a certain part, that scene wouldn't feel right. This is the same thing, not just cussing to be cussing, but this, just like in a movie, cuss word in a certain part, the whole scene would be messed up, right? Same thing. Recognize that, okay? That's what I did. I did it. I made sure I used the cuss word, all right? Now, I always start this out for those of you that are new, that have been in the debt matrix all your life, right? And this is how I get people out of the debt matrix. 85% of Americans, the US, live in the debt matrix, meaning they're in debt. There's 15% of us that live outside the debt matrix that are financially free. And financially free means your finances are above zero, okay? People that live here, their finances are below zero. Okay, all the negative. You finance a car, you're below zero. You finance a house, you're below zero. You finance some furniture, you're below zero. Okay. Now, once you become financially free, you learn to, well, actually, always realize that you never mix your feelings with your money, ever. I know you've heard that statement many times throughout your life. Hey, never mix business with feeling. And you know, I kind of heard that when I lived in the debt matrix. All right, I remember hearing that, but I didn't really know what that meant. This is now I do. And it's example of how that sounds when you mix your feelings with your money. Okay. If I was your boss, right, you came to get your check, you opened your check and it was $100 short, and you said, "Hey, boss, what's up with my money? It's short." And I turned to you and said, "Yeah, I saw that. I feel really bad about that. Yeah, right in my heart, I feel really bad." You would look at me like I'm crazy, right? That's the same thing when you mix your feelings with your money. It doesn't make mathematical sense. So what I do is expose glitches in the debt matrix by using math. Anything that doesn't make mathematical sense is a glitch, because math and money are one. The only thing that can separate math and money are feelings. Blow them right apart. Don't even make sense, right? If you always recognize that anything you do with your money, when you go to buy something, finance something, or somebody tries to call you to scam you, if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it's usually a scam. Scams always, once you're out of the debt matrix, because financial scams are aimed at people that are in debt and desperate. They're hoping and wishing that fake check is real. You know what I'm saying? But nobody sends somebody they don't know a check and say, "Hey, you cash it, you keep the rest of the money and give me a little bit of the money." When's the last time you did that? That doesn't make sense, right? That's a scam. Nobody gives away money like that to a person they don't know. That's not true. See what I'm saying? All right. Let's get to the main topic. Life after bankruptcy. Now, if this is you, you've been in the debt matrix all your life. Now you're free. Okay. Now you probably feel like since you had to file bankruptcy, you're a financial loser, right? Or everybody's scared of the big B word. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to teach you how to look at that differently. Don't look at it, those kind of views and people that say things like that, and it makes you uncomfortable. That's because those people are in the debt matrix. Nobody talks about bankruptcy. You notice that? Nobody gets on Facebook and Instagram and say, "Hey, I just got chapter 7." Even though chapter 7 is a very good thing to have, very good, very good, but nobody really talks about it. They talk about the new cars they finance, the new house they finance, but not even knowing how this person, first of all, never financed a car ever. But people in debt matrix don't know that, so they say it out loud, public, on social media, and believe they really got a great interest rate. Some people don't even talk about the interest rate. Some people don't even know what interest rate they got. They're just happy to get that thing. "Oh, I got a promotion. I deserve a new car." You deserve to be deeper in debt? Whatever. The first thing when you get out of bankruptcy, the natural move is to try to get back into the credit game that got you in the bankruptcy in the first place without learning a thing. This is how I'm going to teach you a different way to look at that. Now that you're outside, right now at this moment, you're out of debt. You're in the 15% of us that are financially free. But if you've been there all your life, you don't really know you're here. Okay, I'm gonna help you realize that you are free. Okay, I want you to, before trying to go get another loan, before you try to get finance another car, I want you to sit back and I want you to feel the freedom of no debt. When you're deep in debt, there's a heaviness that sits right here in the front of your forehead. And you don't really notice it because you've lived with it all your life and you assume that everybody has it, right? But I want you to recognize that heavy weight of debt is not here. I want you to feel it. Don't think about getting back in the credit game just yet. Just walk around. I want you to feel that you're free. That nobody's calling you, no collection places are calling you. You don't owe anybody money. When you get your paycheck at your job, it just sits in the bank now. You're not living paycheck to paycheck. Your money's not going out as fast as it's coming in. You notice, I want you to feel that. Feel it. Just walk around and be like, "Dang, I am free. I don't have any debt." You're out of the debt matrix. But you're not giving yourself enough time to feel that freedom. You feel like that. Remember when you're first 18, but this time you're 18 with knowledge. You're not literally 18, but you're older, but this time you're with knowledge and you don't realize you're free. Remember, when you were deep in debt and you look at a teenager cry about the $2,000 debt they're in, you're like, that ain't nothing. You're like, ooh, I wish I could go back to that age. You're there now. You're there right now. That heavy weight of debt is no longer on your forehead and sitting right here. The weight that you live with all your life inside the debt matrix, it's not there anymore. You're free. Don't worry about what everybody in the debt matrix is. Remember how you felt just before filing bankruptcy? I mean, probably in a panic, emotions everywhere. Once the bankruptcy hit, now you're free. Those people are living like the way you used to live. Okay? They're probably telling you what you need to do to build your credit back up or whatever because they want you to come back into the debt matrix with them. They probably don't even know what they're saying to you. And you probably feel that you need to get back into the game to get your credit score back up. But I guarantee you this, the majority of people with high credit scores are in the deepest of debt. Whether they notice or not is 100% irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they feel, think. Because remember what I said earlier, feelings and money have nothing to do with each other. Never mix the two ever. Okay? I want you to feel, this is what I want you to listen to. I want you to go to work, still hang around the people that you used to hang around with, and I want you to hear them complain about money, bills, and problems the way you used to. You don't do that anymore. I want you to just listen. Listen to them complain about all the things that you no longer complain about because you're out of debt. You're free. Listen to them complain about their phone bill, their cable bill, their car note, their car insurance, bill collectors calling them. Notice how they'll try to, oh, no, that's a bill collector. I'm not going to answer that. They say these things out loud, things that you used to say out loud. Now that you're on the 15% of us that are financially free, I want you to listen to how they say those things out loud, and they have no idea they're saying them. No idea. None. They don't even know. Yes, you used to do that too, not realizing there's 15% of us that are financially free that are listening to it all. They don't even realize they can get out of that nonsense just like you just did. But they don't realize they're in it, so they don't even know what they're saying. Financing cell phones, I got to have the latest and greatest cell phone. How are you getting it? I'm financing it. Oh, okay. See what I'm saying? They don't even know. Thinking they got a great deal on a finance car. Oh, I got a 1.5 interest rates. Most of the people don't even know what interest rate they got on the car, but yet they have that car. They don't even know they're in debt to that car, their job, and the bank. Handcuffed, just like this. They don't even realize they're handcuffed for the next 72, 62, 72, 84 months, whatever. As long as they have that depreciating, shiny, brand new thing, that's not you anymore. Let them talk about your older car. Doesn't matter what they think. Doesn't matter. They have to go to work. They have to put up with the job that they don't like. Not you. You're free. Now you're at a job you don't like. You can just leave or start looking for a new one. You're not strapped anymore. Just soak in and listen to for example, if you're at work, right? And you listen to the people that say things like, oh man, I can't wait to get my paycheck so I can do X, Y, Z. Those people are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't know they're living. I mean, they know, but they don't really know they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they're saying these things out loud. Not you. You just check to make sure your check got deposited. Maybe you get paid Friday. Maybe you'll check your bank account to make sure it was in there on Monday because it's not a big deal. Because your money's not leaving as fast as it's coming. You're not part of that crowd anymore. I want you to feel that. Check this out. I remember the first time I became debt free and I didn't really think about my checks anymore, like get it in Thursday, get it auto deposit Thursday, it'll be there before the Friday, whatever, right? I remember the first time I forgot about paydays. And I remember jumping up in my cubicle and talking to the person next over to me. I was like, hey, Did we get paid last Friday or this Friday? You should have saw everybody's head that popped up like a a groundhog and Groundhog Day. It was like, who asked that question that don't know they didn't get paid? Not realizing all those heads that popped up, guess what? They're living paycheck to paycheck because they're not used to hearing that. They probably never even said that. You see what I'm saying? You are now part of the 15% that are free. Recognize that. Be proud that you're all your debt's gone via bankruptcy, and now you're free. Bankruptcy is not a bad thing. Somebody placed it there on purpose to give people that know how to. Bankruptcy is a tool. Money is a tool. Understand that if you use that tool right, you'll be free. Don't look at it. It's not a bad thing. Somebody put it there for a reason. Excuse me. Okay, just looking at my notes here. Don't worry about what other people in the debt matrix seem to have. The reason why the majority, now remember, put yourself back in that situation. The reason why most people in the debt matrix don't realize they're broke because they believe they own everything they have financed. People with mortgages believe they are homeowners. People that have financed cars believe they own those cars. They're fighting over buying versus leasing. It doesn't matter. The bank owns both buying versus leasing anyway, so there's no reason to fight over that, which one's better. They only argue about that in the debt matrix. Neither one of them matter. Which one's better than the other? Why do this? It doesn't matter. Don't ever finance a car, ever. But yet millions of people believe they are homeowners while having a mortgage, knowing that they could not have bought that home without the bank's money. And if you don't have your own money to buy whatever it is you're buying, it's not yours. You're borrowing the money from somewhere and you're paying more for that item to borrow that money. So you're paying more for whatever you're financing than it's actually worth. Now you're free. Okay? Now recognize, now I'm bringing you to the 15%. I want you to understand that you are in a brand new financial world, okay? You're a baby over here, all right? I want you to start thinking about money. Understand that you now have cash, okay? Now, remember when you were deep in debt before bankruptcy, you were desperate, right? And you needed to start selling things to keep up with your bills or to pay for whatever, right? Now that you're on the financially free side, guess what? You have cash now. You have money. So that means now you get to buy the things you want at half the price from desperate people in the debt matrix, the same way you were, right? You get to buy for half or even quarter of the price, anything. You no longer have to pay full price for almost anything anymore, including a house. You don't even, you want some nice furniture? All you got to do is get online. Somebody's going through something in the debt matrix, just like you were, desperate to take anything for that item. I promise you. I promise you. Whatever they're selling, you bring half the money or a quarter of the money, they're going to take it. Because they're desperate. They're trying to save their credit. Maybe they're going through a divorce and don't care. They're involving their feelings. Most of the people in the debt matrix are involving their emotions in those, and they'll take whatever. Divorce, oh, I don't care. That mother effer bought the furniture and he had his mistress on it, whatever, and then they'll just sell it. I don't care. Give me $5 for it, and you're there with cash to buy it, and you will live. You're not living. You're not living without. People believe that if you watch your money, you're going to be living cheap. You don't have to live cheaply. You buying everything for half the price, and not even when you buy for half price from people. Guess what? You're not even paying tax for it. You're buying for, you let them pay the tax for whatever item they're paying for. And then once they get in trouble, they're going to sell it to you for a quarter of the price without tax. See what I'm saying? You no longer have to live the way you used to live. All you got to do is remember how desperate you were when you lived in the debt matrix. That's how 85% of Americans live. You no longer think individually. Once you come on this is what I'm teaching you. You no longer think individually about your money. You think collectively. All right. We collectively agree that this cash, this green money, dollar bill, whatever denomination, is legal tender to buy and trade goods. Okay. And if the majority of people are in debt, they're desperate. You are free. You have money. When they're in a debt matrix, they don't have any money. They have to use credit cards. They have to use borrowed money directly or indirectly. Like, here's an example. If you add up all your savings, like when you're in a debt matrix and you add up all your savings and add up all your debt, and then, well, savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life, 9 times out of 10, it was going to be in a deep negative. Okay. That means you have no money. You had no money. The majority of people live like that. So say like there are, like, this is one of the biggest things. People believe that are in a debt matrix believe when they contribute to their retirement, they're always so worried about the match and all this other stuff. All right. If they added up all their savings and added up all their debt, and savings minus debt equals they're in the negative, savings minus debt equals how much money they have to contribute to get the match, how much they contribute to put in their retirement. You can't match negative. If they're in a negative, you're matching negative. That doesn't exist. You can't match negative. That's impossible. Savings minus debt equals how much money they're contributing to their retirement. If it's in a negative, they're not contributing anything. They just believe they're contributing money. But now that you're out of debt and you contribute to your 401k because you're at zero. Any money comes in adds to your black. You're in the black. So if you decide to contribute to your 401k, you are contributing real money that's getting a real match, that's adding real interest. See what I'm saying? You're no longer in the negative. You got to think collectively now. Regardless of what they believe, it doesn't matter. Math will never, ever lie to you. Ever. It will never. Use math, trust math, okay? Like I said before, when you buy things, all you got to, again, you think collectively. So there's many things that will happen to people that are desperate. Job layoff, then they're willing to sell their TV, furniture, cars, and you get it all for a quarter of the price, half the price, whatever. You're free. You don't have to buy. You're not walking in stores buying really anything anymore. Anything that, I mean, there's certain things that you have to buy new, but you don't have to buy a brand new TV. You don't really have to buy brand new furniture. You don't really have to buy a brand new car. You don't have to buy any of that. You can buy a used one. You can. And you just buy it from desperate people, that the way you were. Now, now don't get me wrong, okay? Now, credit is part of life. But now that you're financially free, you are now able to see that credit is nothing more than a tool for convenience and a tool for security. And I'll tell you why. Now that you understand it's a tool, okay, so if you check it out, if you look on my Facebook, DebtAintMyDaddy, Instagram, DebtAintMyDaddy, I post my entire credit report every single month because I want you to see what type of credit score I have using one credit card. Only credit card I have is one. I only have one. The myth of you needing revolving credit to build your credit score, that's a myth. That's a lie. That's not true. That's not true at all. That's a lie. That's a statement designed to keep you in debt. Credit is a business. It's a business tool. Okay. You get one credit card. You use that credit card to buy every single thing that you normally would buy with cash or your debit card for two reasons. Again, credit is a tool. So when it's time for you to rent a car or get a hotel room, it just makes life easier. I know they say some places you can do it with debit, but it's a huge hassle, okay? So you get one credit card, and with this credit card, you're gonna pay it off in full every single month in full. So you don't really care about the interest rate because you're never going to pay the interest. You're going to pay it off in full every single month. Okay. That's number one, for convenience. Number two is for security. So you use that credit card to buy online, buy in different stores, get gas. Now you don't have to worry about the security of different businesses and buildings and all that other stuff, hackers, because they don't hack the money off your debit card that's come straight out of your debit card. They hack the money off the credit card. So as soon as the credit card identifies that that is fraud, you know what they do? They go, "Is this you?" You say no. And then they say, "Okay, cool." They refund, they credit you, cancel that credit card, and send you another one. Just like that. Boom. Your debit card is not like that. And here's another security reason why I suggest you use a credit card. Okay. Just one. All right. You pay it off in full. Because I noticed this. This is what threw me. This is what alerted me to using the debit card. I remember one time my debit card got hacked. For some reason, I used it somewhere, and the money comes straight out. The money came straight out of my account. Okay. And then I had to, it wasn't me. And then I had to get a police report and I had to prove it wasn't me, all this other stuff. But they say it can be used as a credit card with the same assurances. No, it was a big hassle. And this is what I didn't understand. Yes, I can use my debit card for a PIN with a PIN, but I can also use my debit card as a credit card, but just by pressing enter. I was like, that's a huge security hole. I said, so if I drop my credit card, somebody picks it up, they can go wherever, slide it and hit enter, and then they can purchase whatever they're trying to purchase. I said, that's a huge security hole. So you know what I did? This is what I did. I called my bank. I said, hey, I want to keep my debit card, but I want you to take off the Visa credit card logo off that. I don't want that. That's a huge security hole. You know what they told me? They said, no, you can't do that. I said, what? I said, that's a huge security risk. I don't want that. Sorry, we can't do that. We have a deal with MasterCard and Visa. I said, what? You can't do what I need you to do with my money? I said, oh. Usually when things don't make sense, that's usually a sign that there's some kind of money opportunity. Good morning, Beauty Job. Good morning. That's usually a security sign that something doesn't make sense. That means Visa and MasterCard are making some money. I said, wait a minute. I'm requesting that you take the Visa MasterCard logo off my debit card because I just want to use it as a debit card. You're telling me no, sorry, we can't do that. I was like, oh, gotcha. I see why you guys are doing that. You got Visa MasterCard are giving you guys money for putting their logo on your debit card. Something's in there. Something's in there to make money. That's why they told me no. I said, okay, cool. Now, I don't use my debit card. The only thing I use my debit card for is to get money out of the ATM. Outside of that, I use my credit card every single place, and I only have one for security and convenience. I never pay interest on it because I pay it off in full every single month. This is how you will live after bankruptcy. You won't even care that I know bankruptcy is on your credit report for 7 to 10 years. You won't even care that it's there because you'll barely even look because you're not even using it like that. You don't care. And while you're doing this, while you're using your credit card everywhere, your credit score is going up. It's going up every cent. Then you look at it. Okay, cool. It's in the 7. Like mine's right now, it's up. One's in the 7s, one's almost in the 8s. It doesn't even make any sense. Because what you probably don't even know, each credit bureau, TransUnion, Equifax, and the last one, they each have their own credit scoring ranges. I didn't know that until I became debt free. I thought everybody had one. They each have their own credit score ranges. I did not know that. Why? Credit is designed to keep the average person confused and in debt. Once you're out of the debt matrix, I don't care about their different credit scoring system. I don't personally care. As long as I can have my one credit card, rent, I buy everything with it, whatever. If it get compromised, I say, okay, cool. Turn it off, send me a new one. That's it. Welcome to the 15% of it. Recognize that you're free. Recognize that you were financially ahead. It doesn't matter how you got there. Recognize that you're financially ahead of millions of people that are in debt, whether they know it or not. It doesn't matter if they know it or not. Math doesn't care about how they feel about debt. People be calling, oh, there's good debt, there's bad debt. Debt is debt. It doesn't, no feelings, stop attaching feelings to it. Debt is debt. If you owe somebody, you're in debt to them. Once you pay it off, you're no longer in debt to them. That's how it works, period. There's no good debt, bad debt. There's debt is debt, okay? Now that you're free, I want you to recognize that you now understand that money, and this will slowly come to you, because you got to remember, if you've been in the debt matrix all your life, you got to get used to. I've been out of it like 6 years, and I still hear things that I couldn't hear when I was in the debt matrix. That they just keep coming to you, and sometimes you're gonna go through a phase. I went through a phase for about maybe the first year of thinking about all the financial dumbest things I financed, dumbest financial mistakes I made for about a year. I was mad at myself for a lot of things because I financed a lot of things. And every time I'd finance, when I was in the debt matrix, this is what I would think to myself. I will build my credit. If I finance this car stereo system and make the payments on time, that helps my credit. If I finance this car, this helped me justify financing depreciating objects, right? Cell phones, I did all that. Cell phones, car stereo system, tires, 90 days, same as cash, blah, 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 right? Oh, it'll help build my credit. That's the only thing I was thinking. Not realizing that was just digging myself deeper and deeper in the hole. And you start to, I remember feeling that debt pressure, you know, but I just thought it was normal. Everybody did it. Everybody, and that key word, if you hear somebody say everybody, that's when you know not to trust them financially, because everybody's not in debt. Everybody doesn't believe everybody has a car note. Everybody doesn't believe people have credit cards for emergencies. That's not true. That's not true. That's all a lie. Once you're on the 15% of us, you're going to be mad about all the things you've done that you messed up financially. That's part of the recovery process. Okay, it's part of it. You'll get over it, and then once you get over it, you'll see how many people there is that used to that think like you and still will continue to think like that. They have to be ready to realize whatever made you wake up, or it might be bankruptcy that made you wake up. Sometimes people file bankruptcy and get right back in it because they didn't learn anything, especially a 7. If you get a bankruptcy 7 and it wipes out everything, you really didn't understand. That's why when people go through the process of getting out of debt by paying off their debt, they're feeling the pain of what they spent, right? And when you go through that process of paying off your debt, that's part of the process, so you can feel what you spent. And then once you out of debt, you're like, oh, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never, ever going to do that again. Handing your paychecks over to all the places, you're the middleman. You're going like this. Get your check from your job to you to the debt you have, okay? Once you do that, you feel that pain. But if you got lucky to get bankruptcy, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, oh man, not everybody can get it. Half the people that are approved for it, they turn Chapter 7 down because they want to keep all their depreciating stuff. That if this is you, if you're thinking about filing bankruptcy right now, right? And your lawyer or whoever you're talking to says you are approved for Chapter 7, but you don't get to keep your stuff, you better take Chapter 7. Let go of all that stuff you think you own, because that stuff is those are the things that are keeping you in debt, keeping that pressure of debt sitting on your forehead. Take Chapter 7. Now, I'm going to tell you what you're going through, and you probably don't even know how I know, but I'm going to tell you. You're probably thinking if you file Chapter 7 and they take all your stuff, everybody in the debt matrix is going to know that you filed bankruptcy. You're going to feel like, oh, I'm a loser. Now they're going to know when my car is gone. Now I went from an Escalade to a Honda Accord, whatever. Those are people that are in, let me tell you something. Those are people that are in the same situation as you, but it hasn't come to a head yet. It will. Most of them are probably so deep in debt right now They're barely hanging on to all their stuff. They're barely hanging on. And instead of just saying, accepting that they cannot afford this stuff, guess what they choose? Chapter 13. So they can keep all that depreciating stuff. So they're only pressing other people in the debt matrix, okay? They're only fooling them. And so they file for Chapter 13. They keep their stuff, what they think they keep their stuff, which is they're not. They just believe they are. And then nobody on the outside of the debt matrix, they think they're fooling everybody. Nobody can tell that they're in trouble. Yes, you can. I can. 15% of us that are free. You can too. All you got to do is listen to them speak. Just like, oh man, they talk about the car notes, high cable bills. People compare high bills. Have you ever noticed that? Did you ever do that? Oh, hey man, my phone bill is like 100. Then somebody else will jump in. Oh, that ain't nothing. Mine is 150. They are just killing me. And you're comparing high bills? People do that all the time out loud. Ain't that crazy? Did you do that? I want you just to sit back and listen to the things that you used to say, not knowing there were people like me in that crowd. There might be one in that crowd just listening to you saying, damn, man, they're saying this stuff out loud. Be proud that you completed bankruptcy, bankruptcy freed you. Especially if you get a Chapter 7. You get a Chapter 7, you better thank your lucky stars, because everybody can't be approved to get Chapter 7. That's not easy to get. If you got it, if you just got laid off right now, you ain't got no job. I know you're feeling bad. You're desperate right now. But right now is the time to get Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Get it. You will thank your lucky stars that you got it. Because most people with jobs, they're so deep in debt, but they got really good jobs, they can't be approved for Chapter 7 because there's a means test. And if you make up to a certain amount inside your state, you can't be approved for a Chapter 7. You make too much money. Ooh, now you're forced into a Chapter 13. Ill wills, good morning. It is. Everything is well, for sure. Hope everything's well for you, man. And now I know you're forced into a Chapter 13, but there's ways out of that too. You don't really necessarily have to go into a Chapter 13. You can if you want, but you don't have to. There's ways, but it's going to take a big sacrifice. You talk to me and I tell you what you got to do, you're probably not going to believe it. You're like, oh man, I got to let go of all my stuff. SOW. Man, you live there. You got a bed set up in that cubicle, or I don't know where you have to do all these SOWs, man. Are they all stacked in the back of your car? Are you bringing them home and you're doing them are you doing them when you're stuck in traffic? Are you doing them then too? Man, you do a lot of SOWs, man. Woo. Man, I do them when I work remote. Okay. Wow. Lucky you, man. Oh my God, man. You know what? If you do it only on work hours, SOWs ain't gonna be so bad. Only 2 days a week. Okay. And make sure you do them only during work hours, man. Only during work hours. Okay? They won't be as bad. But if you're free from bankruptcy, man, be proud. You know, if people knew, yes, sir, I took that page from me. Okay, cool. If you got Chapter 7, now nobody does this on social media, okay? But if you got Chapter 7, you don't know how lucky you are. Today, I mean, I'm financially free and it's after the fact, but I would post on my social media, I got Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Because that just wipes out everything instantly. Don't care about what people, you're going to lose your car, lose your house. It's not yours, okay? So you can't lose anything you don't own, okay? If you owe payments on it, it's not yours. Give it back. Doesn't matter. Take that. Take it. Especially if you're upside down in a car. Oh my God, you're totally free. Because usually if you're upside down in a car and you let it get repossessed, they'll sell it and sue you for the difference. If you do Chapter 7, guess what? You just say, take this car, and you get Chapter 7, you are free. No, you don't care what they sell it for. And don't feel bad about it. If somebody, now this is business. I want you to understand that this is business, okay? If a business, you drove your current car, upside down car, onto a car lot, and they gave you pennies for your trade-in and took the overage and rolled it into another loan and wrapped that up with taxes and then charge you a high percentage rate for that, they knew what they were doing to you. Okay, they knew what they were doing to you. So if you let that car get repossessed into a bankruptcy, don't feel bad about it. They knew the risk they were taking. This is business. This is nothing personal. If they did that to you, they knew the risk they were taking. I promise you, because anybody that manages money well, first of all, would never ever finance a car in the first place, especially be upside down and never. But if they wrote, that should be illegal. Honestly, I don't know why that's not illegal. I don't know why that's not illegal. I understand it's business, but take an upside down car and roll all the negative equity into a new loan, instantly making the new car also double upside down, and then charge you a high percentage rate for it because you're a high risk. They already know you're a high risk. Charge you 29.999% interest rate wrapped up in the taxes too. They already know the risk they're taking. So if you let that car go, whatever, don't feel bad about it. They knew. You said upside down on a cell phone. I'm in tech, but I'm not big on gadgets. My phone is about 5 years old, still functions. Exactly. Hey, it wills. If people are financing phones, they're immediately upside down on a cell phone. Immediately. This is what I do. If I want a newer phone, I wait for the one I want. I wait for a year or two, and then I go buy a refurbished off of Amazon with cash. Because you notice how, like, the cell phone companies, they encourage people to trade in their old cell phones and give them credit for a new cell phone, trapping them in the endless loop that they can't even get. Don't let, check this out. Don't let them get a person into a family plan with a constant upgrade of 4 phones on a family plan. Ooh, you're never getting out of that. The only person that's responsible for every single phone on that plan is the main person. Now imagine you get somebody on your family plan, friend, family, whatever, and they don't want to hardly pay their bill on time. You got to get on them and say, hey, what's up? You're not paying the bill. Oh, man. And then if you get mad, it's not like you can say, okay, cool, I'm going to shut your phone off. You're not getting that phone back. They're not going to say, oh, you're going to turn my phone off? Okay, I'll mail you the phone, or wherever they're at, right? You're not going to get it back. They're just going to take that phone, throw it in a drawer because they can't use it. And they're mad because you cut it off. Now you're responsible for paying for that phone. Ooh, I would not want to be in that predicament. If this is you, I know this is off the subject, but if this is you, I have a plan that can get you out of that kind of situation without the person that's doing that to you, without them even knowing. You're going to have to tolerate them with their sporadic payments, but stay on it because they need that phone. So they're going to continue to give you something. I'll teach you how to get out of that. I create a plan of how you get out of that. Once you're out of it, you say, okay, now the phone is yours. Here's your new plan. Here you go. You don't have to completely cut them off. There's different ways of doing it. I promise you. Like I was talking to a friend of mine that has he has his children on his plan, but now these are young adult children, right? And so they're every year they get a new phone, so that just locks you in, right? But now they have jobs, but they're buying so much other stuff and not paying him this money because he's the dad. I said, oh, you want that to stop? I can help you stop that. Yeah, you're going to have to pay to get out of it. Yes, you are. You're going to have to pay to get out. But there's a plan to get out of that and put them on their own plan for cheap. If they choose not, and then you just tell them once it's complete, you just tell them, here's your new SIM, here's your new plan, here's your login, this is what you do. You can pay it or not pay it. It's totally up to you. It has nothing to do with me. Totally separate. And you'll be free. See what I'm saying? But those people that believe they're trapped in there, ooh, I feel sorry for them. Bought a Dell Server 1950 from Dell Refurbished. I'm practicing build. Oh, build computers. This was before VMware. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I can't even remember when last time I had a desktop computer. I mean, I'm doing right now this video on a Mac. I'm a Macintosh person personally now, but as work, it's still Windows, right? If I go back, I'm sure it's still Windows. But desktops, man, when I first got into computers, I built computers. I was so proud, man. I could build the computers, load the OS. I was like, ooh, wow, that was amazing until I got into virtualization. Once I got into virtualization, I was like, oh man, a computer's a file now. I can just expand my hard drive with just a click of a button now. That's crazy, Run out of space. All right, I just add 20 gigs off the SAN. It was just, that stuff blew my mind. And then virtualization, I made their desktops follow them anywhere they want. It was just, man, I ain't gonna lie, I was good at that. I loved it, right? I loved it. I should have been, check this out. I should have been getting paid both. I should have been getting paid way more than what I was getting paid. I was P2Ving we were getting out of the desktop, going to thin clients, okay? So I would P2V the thick client into a virtual machine and then push it to a thin client, okay? And then that way, the person that had their desktop, they were getting their desktop removed, they still felt like it was still their desktop, but now they could go to any thin client, log in, and still have their desktop wherever they were at, phone, in the lunchroom, at their friend's desk. You know what I'm saying? You could just be anywhere, right? I used to love that, loved it. But when I designed that, I should have, before implementing it, this is what I should have did. Because when I first came to this last company, I remember this. VMware, I came in and they had multiple GUIs, multiple GUIs, I'm talking computer language, people. So I don't want to lose you here, okay? And it's only for a second. I'm talking to ear wheels. I had multiple GUIs to get in to manage these different interfaces. Like we had like 10 GUIs. I broke it. I figured out a way to break it down just to 2. Okay. And we had a disaster recovery side, one on this side. And then if this side of the data center went down, we could just switch over to the other side and everything would be identical. And because everything was replicating in the background, right? What I should have did was designed it, put up a replica in the play area and said, hey, I can do this for the company, cutting down this amount of this money saved, blah, 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 before implementing it, and say, before I do it, I want a raise for it. That's what I should have did. But you know what I did? I was just, you take pride in your work. And so I just did it, and then I just showed them. They were like, oh, good job, Linnell, good job. Good job. No, you see what I did? Good job. Okay. I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again. Companies are making millions and billions. What they pay us for salary is pennies. It's pennies. It's not a lot of money. And if you ask for a raise with a design like that, if you that good, they'll pay you because they know you won't accept anything less. As they say, oh, okay. And then you say, I want a raise for it. And they say, no, we're not going to do it. I'll say, okay, here's the paperwork. Here's the design. I'm not going to hold it back because I did it on their company dime, right? So anything I do really belongs to them. It's them. So I'll say, here's your stuff. It's yours. Now you're going to have to pay somebody else to do it because I ain't doing it unless you pay me. That's true. Do not take pride. Do take pride. It depends on us. Exactly. If you take pride in your work, a business will see it, and they will pay you accordingly. Just think about it. Just think about it this way. If you owned your own business and you hired somebody that was really, really good at what they did for your business, making you triple the profits, and they say, hey, you know what? I want some more money. And if you lose that person, you got to start from ground zero. Oh, no, you're going to pay them accordingly. Okay. Because they're going to do an even better job for you. If they're going to be happy to work for you because they're getting paid accordingly. Why? It just makes sense, right? But when I was in debt, I didn't want to rock the boat or disturb my paycheck. So whatever I was thinking at that time, right? And do it. It's like this. Like right now, there's this. I'm gonna say it like this. There is this large company right now that is interested in me. Okay, Wills. There's this very large company that's interested in me. Okay. Now, if they pay me what I want, I'm going to work for them. Okay. They have showed interest in me. So we're going to go through a couple of more phases, a couple of more interviews, right? And then we're going to get to the pay scale. And I'm going to say, I want this much money. Now I know they have it. They make billions. Okay. The money I'm asking for is peanuts compared to what they make. Let's just put it that way. Now they know they know I've been out of work for 4 years, but they know that I know what I'm doing. It's when I get back, if they hire me and get back into it, I just pick up from the new stuff that they do. And okay, this has been upgraded to that. This now does that. Okay, instead of doing this, it does this. It's nothing different. It's really nothing different. But they're going to pay me. Salary negotiations are going to be very different than before, way different than before. I'm going to make sure it's clear. If there's like an on-call type rotation, it's going to be very clear that I'm not going to be called when I'm not on call. That's not going to happen unless you're going to pay me even more. If you like it, love it. Some people are only paper. They can't handle troubleshooting when the CIO is in your neck, is running. Exactly. Now I get when the CIO, people get nervous if the CIO is breathing down their neck. But if I have a legitimate thing and why something's not running, I'm not just going to say, hey, this is not running for, it's got to be a reason why it's not running at top performance. It's got to be a reason. So if it's like that, I'm going to present that to the CIO and say, this is why it's not running at optimal performance. We need XYZ. We need more people. We need an upgrade. And it's not going to change until this happens. Here's the proof. You just don't just say it. You're right. You got to show them. This is what's going to cost if you want this to do XYZ, period. So if they come back again, hey, man, the server's down again. I'll be like, what do you mean? Well, of course it is. Well, I don't get why you're surprised. Why are you surprised? What do you mean? I mean, I'm not going to say it like that. Of course, it's going to be professional, but it's going to be like, hey, back on October, I said this is why it's doing that. What do you mean? See what I'm saying? So you don't really have to be scared. See, being scared of your manager or your boss, again, those are feelings. And the only reason why most people are scared because they're scared that their job is in jeopardy. Right? That's why you're scared. And you're scared because your job's in jeopardy, because if you lose this job, you're going to be in some major trouble because you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your car note, you can't pay your car insurance, blah, 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 right? But when you're not in debt, I understand that those are feelings. There's no reason to be scared of your CIO. He's not gonna kick my butt if I don't do the job. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna beat me up. He's coming. There's a problem. He hired you for the answer. You give him the answer. The reason why something's not doing something, or you give that CIO the answer to why it's not doing something. You don't just say, I don't know, Then he's going to be looking at, why did I hire you? I hired you to give me the answers because he got people above him that want answers to why something's not working. That's all. It's nothing to be scared of. You figure out the answer. I'm a logical thinker. I'm a troubleshooter. I can figure out the answer. I can figure out the answer all the time. If I don't know the answer personally, I know where to look. I know who to ask. Right? There's somebody that knows the answer. So, and I can tell you this, and this is what I'm gonna do for you guys too. If I get on with this company, I'm going to make videos about my experience with the company and how it is different working for a company being financially free. Because I can promise you, I had 1 year of it before quitting my last job 4 years ago. Okay, I had 1 year of it, but I was just beginning to experience working as a debt-free person. So I was experiencing different things. I was not hesitant to ask managers in meetings of things. So all professional, nothing like I'm being a smart ass or anything like that. No, everything's professional. Okay. I noticed that I didn't involve my feelings in the things, like if, for example, if a manager schedules a meeting, right? You know to be there on time. Hey, this meeting's between us or the staff at 10. I'm there at 10 because I didn't want to get in trouble for being late, right? But yet sometimes the managers will schedule meetings and not show up or be late or not tell you that the meeting's canceled, just nonchalantly like it's nothing. I wouldn't even allow that. If I go to a meeting and I'll give sometimes people are late for whatever reason, right? If they're 5 minutes late, I give a 5 minutes window. Are you going to 10 minutes? I'm leaving. I'm not going to be there. And if they show up 15 minutes late or 20 minutes late and walk in and not see me there, and then they contact me and say, hey, where you at? There was a meeting at 10. I'll be like, exactly. It was at 10 o'clock. What do you mean? It's 10:20. I'm not going to move my whole day back because something in your day happened. I don't know. Maybe they let somebody be late to them. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But you're like, okay, yeah, we can reschedule. Because if you let that happen and then you don't finish your work, they're going to look at you and say, hey, how come you didn't finish your work? What do you mean? You were late to that meeting. You cost me 20 minutes. What do you mean? I don't get it. You don't let that happen. No, you can't let Jesus take the wheel. Sorry, that's not going to happen. That's definitely not going to happen. I kind of miss a little bit of the IT world. I ain't going to lie. A little bit. But now that I'm out of it, I've been out of it for a few years. I don't. It seemed like it was a very. I worked very good in high pressure situations, so I was always like tier 4, tier 3, tier 4. I was never the first tier. I was always if things were down, it was costing millions of dollars every minute it was down. I always worked well in those situations, right? Because I didn't panic. I knew how to say, okay, if it's not doing this, that means this piece is not working because it's not communicating with that piece. So if this piece is working and this piece is not working, that's why this is, it just, because in technology, just like in the internet, if I cut off my modem and I try to get on the internet, I can't get on the internet because my modem's out, right? But if I get here to my modem and I'm still not going down on the internet, that means there's something wrong at my internet provider. You just know it's steps. One cannot work without the other. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, this is I guess that's a good example. If you just filed bankruptcy, right, and you're free, I want you to realize the difference also at work. Okay, realize that, first of all, I want you to realize how fast your checks are going to stack up in your bank account. That's number one. I want you to notice that, how fast your money is going to stack. It's just going to, you probably have more money in your account that you ever had in your whole entire life. It's going to stack up so fast, right? And knowing that all that money's in your account, I want you to notice your change at work. I want you to notice how you're not going to put up with a lot of stuff you put up with. You're just not. You're going to notice how much time you were giving away for free by working through lunch, answering business phone calls after hours, after 5, in the car. When you get home, you got to check your email. Hey, when you get home, check your email. That so-and-so came through and he wants a response by this. You won't be doing none of that. And if they're paying your cell phone bill, let me tell you, they're not paying your cell phone bill because they like you. Okay, that's a feeling. That's outside of business. Never mix your feelings with your business. They're paying your cell phone bill so they can have 24-hour access, legal access to you on your phone. You always get a separate line. You pay your own phone bill. You get a separate phone for work. So when you leave work, you power that phone off and you put it in your desk, because there's no need for them to call you outside after 5. Because when you signed up for their job, they said, hey, you're going to work here from 8 to 5, whatever your hours are. Okay, you fill in the blanks. You're going to work here from 8 to 5. We're going to pay you for 40 hours a week and not a dime more. That's what they're saying on the piece of paper. And not a dime more. Got it? And then you say, okay, cool. And then if they say, hey, we try We try to email you. Hello, Mr. Krabs. Hello, welcome, man. I see you popping in every now and then with your comments. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Welcome, welcome. When you leave, you got to remember you signed a business contract when you got hired. 40 hours a week, 8 to 5. Period. Anything outside of that, especially if you're salary, anything outside of that, remember, you are working for free. You're giving the time away in your life for absolutely free. The reason why the majority of people do that is because they're in debt. They don't want to rock the boat. They want to do whatever. Now, this is a double-edged sword. Now, remember this. Now that you have no more debt because you filed bankruptcy, there's a double-edged sword. Now that you won't tolerate that stuff, remember, there's more people in debt that will tolerate that. Okay? They will tolerate working for free, working through lunch, because that's like the natural statement in the debt matrix. Hey, you got to grind. You got to do this. You got to put up with this. You got to do that. No, you don't. No, you don't. None of that. This is business. And I guarantee you this. If this big company hires me, I tell you that they are going to recognize that I'm not part of the debt matrix. They're going to recognize this, and they're going to put me in a position that's not naturally advertised. I don't know what these positions are called, but you better believe there's positions like this that understand. They put people there that know the difference between separating your feelings from the business, that understand I'm here for a job. I'm here to do a good job. This is what you hired me for. Anything outside of that is renegotiated a contract. If you want me to answer emails after hours, you're going to pay me to answer emails after hours. If you want me to answer my phone when I'm not on call, you're going to pay me to answer my phone when I'm not on call. Time, you can't get more time in your life. That's impossible. You can't borrow it. No matter how much overtime you work, you can't get more time. That's the most valuable thing on earth is time. And you're giving it away for free. I'll never do that again, ever. That's never going to happen, ever. And I'll make sure that's clear inside the meeting. I won't say it like that, but I'll make sure, hey, you guys want me here at what time? Okay. I get a how long for lunch? All right. What time am I off? Okay, cool. So if they accidentally do that, because normally, you got to remember this, managers and bosses, they normally will do this out of natural instinct because most people are in debt. So they're going to accept that kind of stuff. Right? So some might not even know. And the managers and bosses, they might be in the same debt matrix as you. They just make more money and they're just in charge of you. So they're desperate from their bosses. Whatever, it doesn't matter. None of that matters, right? But when they run into me, that won't happen. They're going to say, oh, because they can't write you up. Hey, how come you didn't respond to this email that was sent at 6 o'clock? What do you mean? I was off work at 5. Why would I answer an email at 6, a work email? Why would I do that? What are they going to do? Write you up for not answering an email on your own time when you're off work? That doesn't exist. I would dare a boss to do that. Dare, and make sure you sign your signature on that too. And the reason why you're doing it, he didn't answer his email after 6. Was he off? Yeah, but I still expect, okay, whatever. Write it up. You are no longer part of that world anymore. You're financially free and you need to recognize that. See what I'm saying? This is when you're free, the natural thing you want to do is start getting credit cards and secured credit cards and start talking to other people in the debt matrix. Okay, how can I get back in it? I mean, I feel when I look on YouTube and Instagram, I really do feel sorry for people that don't understand money because there's so many fake people. There's so many people on the internet steering people the wrong way. And I don't know if the people know they're doing it or the people that know they're doing it are using it, okay? There's people that are on the 15% of us that are financially free, know that they're manipulating the people in the debt matrix, okay? And when I say manipulating, I'm not saying in a bad way they're doing something mean or doing something bad. Business is business. What I'm teaching you right now is not a secret. It's 5th grade math. Okay, it's not. I mean, I was on Instagram yesterday, all right, and I came across this woman in front of this crowd of people. Looked like they was in a movie theater that was a smaller movie theater that was rented out, and they were up there talking about FHA mortgages and refinancing and taking the money, investing and all this other stuff. And they were just, the people in the crowd, they didn't realize this woman up front was speaking from a debt perspective. All right, making it sound like you can get all the stuff, no money of your own, PMI, you don't have to worry about that. You only have to have it for a little while, and then you can refinance into it. It's just the craziest nonsense. Now, the only way I can tell if that person up front is talking from a debt perspective or she knows from a business perspective and she's just making money, I would have to see her personal credit report. If I saw her personal credit report, it will tell me either the answers that I want to know. Got it? That's the only way I can tell. But sometimes I can tell by the way they speak. You know, they'll say certain things that make absolutely no sense, or will make sense, but they know, and they're just making money, if that's the best way I can explain it. But anyway, that's it. I'm not going to talk any more about that. All right. And like I said before, if I get a traditional job, and I think this is going to be an exciting thing, so I can show people in the regular working world how it can be as a debt-free person. You know what I'm saying? Give you a different perspective of how things could work. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. I got to get on some things that I need to do, hit the gym, take care of my body. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. All right. Bye-bye.